I gave her everything. Everything. She basically never knew how to manage money at all. This is the kind of girl that would spend £1,000 on some pots and pans for the kitchen that she would never use. Like, she spent £1,000 on pots and pans and she locked them away. And I'm like, why are you spending £1,000 on pots and pans that you never use? You know, if it was up to me, I would go to Amazon and I would get some pots and pans for maybe £200 maximum, and they would suffice. They would work. I've done it before and I had no issues. Like, I did not need £1,000 worth of pots and pans. But this is the type of person that would just make very kind of like callous decisions, like very bad decisions with money. So I was like, you know what? I'm providing the roof over our head. I'm making sure the bills are paid. The least that you can do is help me keep my money, not help me lose my money, you know? So I was like, listen, you're spending X, Y, and Z on this, X, Y, and Z on that, but you're not really doing anything with any of that stuff. Like, how many pairs of shoes does one person need? You know, how many handbags does one person need? You know, you're just spending extravagant money on things that are not really needed, that are not essential. Now, don't get me wrong. I like good things. I do. I like quality. You know, I like quality. I like to buy a product that I know will last me a long time. I do. But there's a difference between liking quality and just being careless with money. There's a huge difference, you know? So when I confronted this girl about this girl had the nerve to call me stingy. She said I was stingy. And I was like, wait, hold up. I'm stingy? I'm stingy now? So I was like, I guess I'm stingy. If it means that I'm doing my level best to provide for you so that, you know, we could have financial security instead of spending all the money and live paycheck to paycheck. If that's what being stingy is, then I guess I'm stingy, man. I guess I'm stingy. You know, the way I was raised to, you know, to respect money. You know, my mother used to leave money on the counter, right? So my mother was a business lady and she would leave money on the counter. And she would know exactly how much money she's left on the counter. All right. And that money was for in case we needed to buy anything. Now, when she would come back home from work, she would count how much money has been used from the counter, right? And then she would ask what you used the money for. And you had to be responsible with how you're using the money. You know, you can't just say, my mom was the kind of person who she'll say to you, oh, why did you buy that at this price? When you know that you can go at X, Y, and Z and buy it for X price. You can buy it for less at this price, at a certain place, another place. Why did you go and pay that amount of money for something that you can get cheaper elsewhere? That's how I was raised. You know, I was raised to value money and to respect money, not just to spend money, you know, as it comes. You know, I do buy good things for myself. I do, but I do it within reason. I do it within reason. I'm not gonna be stupid with my money, and just go and spend it on some designer gear and be broke. I'm not going to do that. So this girl called me stingy because I wanted to make sure that the money that we had stayed in our bank accounts and didn't just evaporate into nothing. And I was like, you know what? I guess that's what I am. See, I'm the type of person I can embrace things like that. Like you cannot put me down by calling me a name, because I will embrace it. If you call me stingy, I'll say, okay, I'm stingy. In the past videos, if you've been following, I told you about the story of the girl who called me insecure. And I was like, okay, I'm insecure. I'll just embrace it. Whatever you call me, I'll embrace it. I'm not gonna fight it. So, you know what? Why not turn it into a song? Stingy, streaming on all platforms. Sergi Bonds. The name of the album is called Exit Plan. Check it out. That's the album right there. Exit Plan. Stingy, streaming on all platforms. See you then.